What I decided to do for you all today was to show you how I grow micro sprouts at home. Hello guys. I have on green because today we are doing a little greenery. What I decided to do for you all today was to show you how I grow micro sprouts at home. What you're going to need is you're going to need a mason jar with a lid. You're going to need your organic sprouting seeds. The sprouting seeds that I have are high mowing organic seeds, and this particular mixture is a sandwich booster mix. You're going to need some sort of towel. Y'all like how I got that all fanned out nice and pretty for you. But anyway, and you're going to need a bowl or a cup. And you're going to want to have some type of mesh. It can be cheesecloth. It can be some kind of screen. What I use is needlepoint mesh. And you can buy this from any craft store. What I did was I put the top on top of the mesh and I traced it out and I cut it. You just put your little plastic mesh in there like that. One thing to keep in mind when you buy your mesh, you want to make sure that your mesh holes aren't larger than your seeds. If you don't want to go through that, you also have the option of buying seeding trays or draining tops for your mason jars. You can find those online as well. So anyway, you have your top, you have your mesh, you have your jar, we have our sprouting seeds, you have your bowl, and you have your beautiful towel or dark place. If you don't have a towel or don't want to use a towel, you can always let them start growing in a dark place. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Stay tuned. Okay, so we have our seeds. I measured out 1 tablespoon of seeds to go into our mason jar. If you have a bigger jar, you can measure out 1 tablespoon, 1.5, 2, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I have always used 1 tablespoon for this particular jar. So I have my 1 tablespoon of seeds. I have my mason jar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and we're going to pour it into our mason jar. We're going to go ahead and rinse them a couple of times. And then we're going to go ahead and drain them. Now the last time, I'm going to go ahead and put the water in there, and they are going to soak. Because we don't have a lot of seeds, we're just going to go ahead and put that much water in it. That's more than enough. As you see, we have our micro sprout seeds resting and soaking in the jar. So what we're going to do now is we are going to let them be in a dark space so that they can germinate. Okay, once you cover them with the towel, you want to forget about them for 6 to 8 hours. Okay, so I'm going to push it in the corner, and we will be back to see what happens. So we have our seeds that have been soaking. They've gotten a little light in color. So we're going to go ahead and drain them. After we drain them, we're going to go ahead and rinse them one last time. And this time we're going to get as much water out as possible. So all of the seeds are nice and damp and have lightened up in color. So we know they are totally saturated. These are what the seeds look like now. We have most of the water out, and this is when our bowl comes into play. So we have our bowl, and at which point we don't want it to clump up, so we're gonna spread them around so that they're not all clumped up and they're kind of evenly distributed. And at which point we are going to lean it in a jar. We make sure that we have as much airflow as possible, and we're going to have it sitting like that, so that way the air can come in from the bottom and it can aerate a little bit, and the water can also seep out. You don't want to have it like this, because then that way the moisture gets trapped. You want it to have air, but you also want it to seep out as much as possible. Now that we have it set up the way that we want it set up, I'm going to go ahead and put my handy dandy towel on top of it, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in a dark place until tomorrow. Okay, so we've been letting our seeds sit overnight, and we shall see what they look like. So if you look closely, you can already start to see some of the root tails coming out on the seeds. So at this point, all you do is rinse your seeds twice a day. So that's what we're gonna do now. At this point, we make sure we drain it as much as possible, and then we do the same thing with distributing the seeds throughout the jar. I broke my bowl by accident, so I need to get another bowl. But you want to make sure, once again, that your jar is tilted at an angle and covered and put in a dark place. So we are going to do that again like so. And we're going to go ahead and repeat this process in the evening. Let's see how our micro sprouts look today. They look really good. As you see, the root tails have gotten really long. They're starting to look more like sprouts. And when they start to get a little leaf on them, these little green things, that's when you want to put them in the sun. Not direct sunlight, in a window or kind of close to light, so that they can green up, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna still do the same process of rinsing twice a day. Okay, so this is the second day since we've put them out on the windowsill. The first day, as soon as I put them out, when it got indirect sunlight, the leaves started greening up right away. This is what they look like. They are nice and green. So we are going to go ahead and start the process of rinsing them again and draining them for today for the AM rinse. Also, I want to add, you will see in your jar a few seeds that may have not germinated. That's fine. Some seeds will not, but it's okay. So we're going to rinse and drain. And then we are going to repeat the same process in the evening. Okay, it's the evening of day 4, and I'm kind of feeling the way that my micro sprouts look at this point. They look nice and full and green, and the package says that it takes 3 to 5 days. So at this point, I think I'm gonna go ahead and clean them up, get rid of the old seeds and things like that, and get them ready for a quick snack, okay? FYI, if you're not familiar with what micro sprouts are good for, they're good for stir fries, on top of salads, sandwiches, easy snack. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and begin cleaning them a little bit and getting all of these seeds that aren't germinated and shells and things like that out. All right, so okay, so we have our micro sprouts, and what we're gonna do is get rid of any of these old seeds and things like that out of there. So what I have is a strainer. So I am going to fill up my jar, cold water of course, and loosen everything up like so. Kind of loosen it up. And a lot of the seeds have fallen, and it smells so good. The rest of them I'm gonna put back in my jar. Now, as far as where to store your micro sprouts, you can store them in your refrigerator for up to a week. So let's put some of these on a sandwich and see how it tastes. So we've got our avocado toast, and bon appetit.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good going, Shivani. That was smart. Well, gotta get another jar. Okay. So this is what, oops, so dark. That's more better. Get your life together. All right, we're gonna do it again. Shh, you just making all kinds of noise. Spread them around. As my, ooh, almost lost it. As soon as the sun came out. Are you freaking kidding me? Really? Really? Are we done? Or are we just getting started? Because let me know. Because if it's not, okay? All right, okay. Let's try this again.
Put the thing back.
I can't.
Open it up.
Oh man. Oh, I can't with you this morning.